Rebecca. I'm here today talking about the Citizen4 documentary that we watched for class, and I was just going to give my thoughts on the movie first. I think it was a beautifully done documentary. I think it was really exciting that you actually got to see that moment in history told live, told as it was. I think that's really interesting and not what a lot of people have ever had the opportunity to see. I remember shortly after watching the video, I was talking to my older brother, and he asked me the question if I thought he was a patriot or a traitor. And I remember having to really think about that question, because there's arguments to both sides of the story. On one hand, he told the people what was going on, and he uncovered this unconstitutional action and this secrecy that the government was doing. And in a lot of ways, that makes him a true hero, because he did what it is we all aspire to do, which is be a watchdog of the government and to expose the truth at all costs. But at the same time, that truth did have costs. He hurt a lot of people, and he put a lot of things at risk when he shared the word. And he probably undermined quite a few government actions and agencies, and in a sense, doesn't that make you a traitor? But I think that if I had to make an opinion, I would probably side with the fact that he was, in fact, very brave and heroic in what he was doing, because he saw a problem and he knew that nobody else was going to tell anybody, and that if he didn't do it, nobody else would. And he sacrificed a lot. And so did the journalists who were on the case, both Glenn and Laura. Both sacrificed essentially the rest of their careers to uncover this breaking story. Now, of course, their names will never be forgotten, but they did sacrifice quite a lot, including time in the U.S. and their careers and their families and their ability to live low-profile lives. And I don't know that I would have ever had the guts to do that from any position. I definitely wouldn't have had the guts to do what Edward Snowden did, but I don't know if I would have even had the guts to do what Glenn or Laura did, and to become part of the story and to tell the story and to be essentially Snowden's mouthpiece in getting the story out. I just don't know that I could have done that and been brave enough to make that bold choice and brave enough to change my life. The other thing that this movie brought up with is exactly how scary it is that we all live a life online. We all live a recorded life. I don't carry cash anymore. I only ever use debit or credit cards. I don't check out books from the library. I find them online. I find PDF versions of them. I read everything online. The first thing I do in the morning is I check my phone. The probably third thing I do in the morning is check my phone. I check my phone all the time. I'm on my laptop. I do all my school there, but I also do all my socializing there. I talk to friends from all over the world on my phone and laptop. I study for tests. I live my life online and on devices. And it's scary to think that the government has the abilities to know what's going on all the time with me. I remember having a conversation with my younger sister in the car. She is high function ASD, by the way, but so she didn't mean this in a serious way, but we were talking and she simply was pointing out what she saw as flaws in terrorist operations, which is kind of humorous in a way, but it was also kind of scary. And she meant them simply as logical flaws and doesn't have the ability to understand how that might be socially awkward to talk about that in a way where it seems as if you're aiding and abetting someone. But I just remember laughing and saying, hello, NSA, if you can hear me over my phone, then please know that she's not being serious and she's not going to do anything. She's just pointing out some logical flaws and some arguments and just wants to keep on living her life. And I just remember that even though it was a joke at the time, that's almost a real thing. That those words that she was saying could have easily been triggering mechanisms in algorithms that picked up and put her information under more scrutiny. And yes, it's because she was saying words that were related to terror, but at the same time, they were harmless. And it's scary to think that somebody's life could be scrutinized and that their information could be analyzed and gone through layer by layer for conversations or for actions or for just being in the wrong place at the wrong time or for standing too close to somebody who was doing something bad, and that loss of privacy, that loss of your civil liberties could just be taken from you without your consent and without due process of the law. And I think that that's something that's really scary, and it's something that we all now have to live with. We all have to live with knowing that everything we do from the moment we make up to the moment we go to bed is being recorded, whether it's being recorded by the GPSs in our phones or by our credit cards or by our Google transaction history or by what we buy on Amazon or by who we talk to or who we're taking photos with, that it's all being recorded and it's all there forever. I just think that this documentary was very moving and very eye-opening as to the way that communication in our society is truly changed forever. All right, so I'll see you guys all in class. Have a great day. Bye.